Saturday, I'll be continuing on with my series of reviewing the Beatles albums, with their 13th and final studio album to be released, Let It Be, released in May 1970. So as usual, before I get onto the songs, I'm going to say a few notes and give a bit of history and background behind the album. So to start off, sessions took place for Let It Be at Twickenham Film Studios in January 1969. The album was originally going to be titled Get Back. The band were filmed at Twickenham during January 1969, which was Paul McCartney's idea as a plan for them to get back to basics in the studio. However, there was famously quite a few arguments and disagreements throughout the sessions, and some of these were shown in the Let It Be movie, which I have by here. I have a DVD copy of the original Let It Be movie, directed by Michael Lindsay Hogg, which I picked up from eBay quite cheaply, about £10. Yeah, so it shows some of the arguments in the original movie, like Paul and being bossy, and George kind of saying, "I'll play whatever you want me to play," and George actually walked out in the middle of the sessions, which I will explain more about. So at the end of January 1969, the band performed their final concert on the rooftop of the Apple offices in Savile Row, London. And at the end of the month, they put the Let It Be project on hold for a while. In the summer of 1969, the band recorded their final album together, Abbey Road, along with producer George Martin, as a chance to reconvene in the studio for the last time. So, in early 1970, John and George were working on John's solo single, one of his first singles, Instant Karma, with American producer Phil Spector. And they basically asked Phil if he would clean up and finish off the Let It Be album for possible release at some point. As John Lennon put it simply, and quite honestly, in the 1970 Rolling Stone interview, Phil Spector was given the shittiest load of badly recorded shit with a lousy feeling to it and made something out of it. That's quite a negative view on it, but Phil Spector added his famous wall of sound production technique to several songs on the album, most infamously The Long and Winding Road, which upset Paul McCartney as Spector took his song and added a full orchestra on it without informing Paul of what he was going to do. So George Martin later said he wished it would have said on the LP's back cover, produced by George Martin, overproduced by Phil Spector. And in 2003 we had the Let It Be Naked, which I do have a CD copy of, which is basically the Let It Be album stripped down without any of Phil's wall of sound production, and Paul McCartney compiled that because Paul wasn't a fan of what happened to the Let It Be album, the original. So on 10th of April 1970, Paul McCartney publicly announced the breakup of the Beatles. A month later, on 8th of May 1970, the Beatles' final album, Let It Be, was released in the UK. So the album cover. So the Let It Be album artwork features 4 stills from the film. I read recently that the band didn't want photos together at the time, so they just asked photographer Ethan Russell to compile 4 photos from these sessions or the film to place on the cover. So that's that. So I'm gonna get on to the songs now, and it's an early Christmas present, this video, for my YouTube subscribers. I know it's been a couple of months, but I'm finally getting around to it now, and I've got my suit on. Review of the Beatles' last released album, Let It Be. So let's get on to the songs after I take a sip of tea. So Two of Us, the album kicks off with a song Paul McCartney wrote about his relationship with Linda Eastman, his new girlfriend of the time, who would become his first wife. They were married for nearly 30 years. And John and Paul's harmonies are very nice on the song. They blend together well. I particularly like the middle bit, "You and I have memories." I don't think I sang it as nice as Paul did, but yeah, it's a nice song. Two of Us kicks off Let It Be album. So we go along to Dig a Pony, a song which John Lennon wrote, which is basically a set of nonsensical lyrics. I Pick a Moondog as a reference to John's early group in Liverpool. And the lyric, "I roll a stony where you can imitate everyone you know," could be referring to Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones. And this is one of the songs performed on the Beatles' final rooftop concert, January 1969. So we move along to Across the Universe, John wrote this song in early 1968, and the band recorded a version of the song before they embarked on their journey to India. And the version on the Let It Be album is different to the one from '68. It includes Phil Spector's Wall of Sound a little bit, and John described the song lyrically as the most poetic thing he wrote, and the lyrics are very nice, very interesting. Interesting sounding song, so that's Across the Universe. So we go along to I Me Mine, George's first song on the album. The lyrics about people's egos and people talking about themselves, which he put up a lot in the Beatles, you know. And the title I Me Mine was mentioned. It was later used as the name of George's 1980 autobiography. He used the same name. And I like the song. It's a pretty good song, and I like the rocking middle section particularly. I me mine. So we go along to Dig It, which is an impromptu ditty. It's under a minute long, which has John shouting out like a Rolling Stone, like the FBI, BBC, etc. It's supposed to be a 5-minute jam from the recording session, but it was condensed down to like about 50 seconds long for the album. And this follows the title song, Let It Be, an all-time classic. And I don't really need to explain the inspiration for the song, as Paul McCartney has explained it numerous times in interviews over the years. But basically in '68, Paul had a dream where his mum, who sadly died when he was 14, came to him and reassured him, saying, you know, just let it be, you know, things will work out, you know. This is in the '60s when he was going through, you know, taking drugs and drinking a lot, you know. So that's what happened, and Paul's vocals are very nice on the song, and George's guitar solo on this LP version is excellent as well. So the last song on side 1, Maggie May, another short ditty, reworking of a traditional Liverpool folk song. It's just 40 seconds long. So now we go along to side 2 of Let It Be, which opens with I've Got a Feeling, which is a raw out and out rocker, taken live from the rooftop concert January 1969, mainly written by Paul. The last part of the song written by John, you know, everybody had a hard year, and is well performed from the rooftop concert, and there's a great live feeling, great rocking song. So we go along to One After 909, a song which actually dates back to when John and Paul were still teenagers in Liverpool. That's when they wrote it, and it was recorded actually first in '63 but didn't work out at the time, so they redid it for the Let It Be sessions January '69, and it was also performed on the rooftop gig. So we go along to The Long and Winding Road, Paul's second piano ballad on the album after the title song Let It Be, written on his Scotland farm in late 1968. It's quite a mournful song, recorded originally on piano in a slow style at the end of the sessions, and Phil Spector controversially added his Wall of Sound in early 1970, which, as I mentioned, it kind of annoyed Paul, and Paul just wrote an open letter to Phil saying, don't tamper with my songs, you know, without giving permission. So we go along to the penultimate song on Let It Be, For You Blue, George's second and final song on the album, a basic rhythm and blues number. The Go Johnny Go bit in the middle is quite amusing from George in the middle of the song, because John played slide guitar on it. And the final song on Let It Be, Get Back, written by Paul, a bluesy rocker, which was initially issued as a single, with John's Don't Let Me Down on the B-side. 2 songs both performed on the rooftop of the Apple Studios in January '69. And at the end of the rooftop concert, we have the bit which is included at the end of Get Back, the song, John's joke, I hope we passed the audition, which is always funny to listen to. So I just want to say that's my review of the Beatles' final album, Let It Be, released in May 1970. And I want to say thank you to my subscribers who've been very supportive this year, and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all. Thank you very much. Goodbye.